But I will call to order this January 5, 2021 meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority. Due to circumstances related to the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is being conducted remotely by teleconference in accordance with HB 197 and the guidelines set forth by the Ohio Department of Health. I would ask all participants to please leave your microphones on mute unless and until you are called upon to speak, at which time please remember to unmute. And will all persons please join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. I will now ask the secretary to please call the roll of the board members.
Yes, sir. Mr. Williamson?
Present.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Present.
Mr. Corrado?
Present.
Ms. Hairston?
Present.
Ms. Hurd?
Present.
Ms. Howard?
Present.
Ms. Matthews Stinson? Ms. Matthews Stinson?
Present.
Mr. Weckesser?
Present.
And thank you. We have 8 in attendance.
Okay, thank you. The roll having been called, the chair will declare that a quorum is present. The bylaws of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority require approval by the Board of Trustees of each board meeting agenda. Prior to today's meeting, a copy of today's meeting agenda was presented for review to all board members. Are there any requested changes or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, the chair will declare the agenda accepted as presented. Also, prior to today's meeting, the meeting minutes of the November 30, 2020 board meeting were presented for review to all board members.
We were getting ready to do things. The next shot is a really good shot, one of my favorites. There you are with your buddy Allison Ledford, checking out the platform. Look how clean it looks. Everything was ready to go. That was just a few days before we opened in September of 2009. And Scott and Allison and others had a lot of input on oh, somebody's not muted, including me. Here's another end. This is one of our retirees, and I knew that because of this guy right here, one of my favorite bus operators, Larry, who was a workhorse here at the RTA for many, many years. And Scott was going along for a ride. I believe we took a tour one day. But now we get to the important pictures to me. What Scott was really known best for was travel training, which is what he did for many, many years here. I imagine there are thousands, if not at least 10,000 people who benefited over the last 30 years from Scott's efforts to help people navigate our system, especially people who had challenges and mobility impairments, which to me is clearly what he's going to be remembered most for as a member of RTA. I think the next one's just another picnic shot, but there's your other partner in crime, Mary Ellen File, who used to work in our planning department. And these two were together a lot at events and issues when we were dealing with on the buses. This is another shot. It looks like a training group there. There's Johnny Williams driving a bus. That's an inside joke. Johnny went MIA, we say in the witness protection program, when our union had some legal issues and hasn't been seen since. But you can move along. So here's a great shot of Scott at work on a bus doing some travel training, which is, again, what I love the most. But deep down, if you get to know Scott, which many of us have over the years, you'll find that what was most important to him was people. and how he could help people and assist them to be more independent in the way they live. And you could always see the smiles on the faces, especially of the young people who would go through the travel training. Then every once in a while, and this is a picture from a board meeting you might remember, he would befriend someone personally and advocate for them on an individual basis. This young lady was one of those folks who we met many times. And we took some pictures. We had an event at a board meeting. That's been a few years back. So the final shot, I think the most important one again, here's Scott at the library with one of the groups that he taught. And I think it's important for us all to remember, you know, these were tireless efforts he made over the last 30 some years. Scott started out working for the cab company that was the predecessor of us doing the project mobility work.
Both of them at the same time. Both at the same time.
At the same time, okay. You were double dipping then, okay.
What Carla Cott has had me do since I
Right.
had mobility, she had me work for them in the afternoon and you guys in the morning. So it was a two job thing, Chuck Walker for Liberty Cab.
Well, then it never ended. And I remember every time Scott's little agreement we had with Scott would come up, he was always worried that we might not renew the agreement, you know, which I internally I was kind of chuckling about, and because we couldn't get along without Scott's help, and Scott's got big shoes for us to fill around here. But with that said, I want to present you with something on behalf of our Board of Trustees, and this plaque reads, Greater Dayton RTA recognizes Scott Meese for more than 30 years of tireless dedication to the people of Dayton, the Dayton region, through his efforts to secure and expand fully accessible public transit services and educate citizens with mobility challenges through his travel training services to maximize their independence and ability to contribute to society. This Lifetime Achievement Award is presented by the RTA Board of Trustees and management team with deepest thanks and best wishes in his retirement. So Scott, we've got a plaque for you, and one of the most rare things in existence, a lifetime pass for RTA services. I'm going to present these to you. And this we want you to take with you. You know, you're one of us and you always will be, and that'll make sure you have access as long as it's needed. I'm going to shake your hands. How's that? Did you want to say a word or two?
Yes.
Well, elect yourself and go right ahead.
This was like a family to me. I was hired at first for Fred Dyer, which is way back. I went through a lot of executive directors. Forrest Swift actually was the one who really hired me. And he told me something that stayed with me for the rest of my life. You serve the people. You're not working for RTA, you're serving the people. And after I got to a lot of directors who didn't really know what it did, Mark came in. First time I saw Mark, he's downtown. And I'm yelling at his driver, I think, because she wouldn't take a chair. And his wife and him were walking. And he said, "You must be Scott Meese." I said, "Who the hell are you?" And I didn't know he was the director at the time. And I got the chair on the bus by talking to the driver calmly and trying to get her to take the girl. And that was a lot of it. You had to know how to work with these drivers. You had to be on a level where even if you were disabled, you had to know how to talk to them. And my father, thank God, taught me that. It was like a party every day. Lisa's here, my teachers. She was a great help to me over there. She's holding up the camera right now.
I don't think the board can see it, but we have two of the teachers that Scott worked with that come today to share in this event.
Here.
Nicole's here.
That's Nicole back behind the mask.
These teachers have done so much for me. Nicole, first time I met her, she had free dinners for McDonald's and we took her kids out there to order their food for the first time. Lisa, we always went to Walmart to get their food for the dinner for them She'll cook the dinner for that week. So we did things with the kids a little different than travel training. We taught them how to travel train. First time we did a travel train to get to Miami Valley, and Lisa was with me when they did all that construction. We had to get around it, so they took me with them because they didn't know what to do. And these kids really enjoyed the bus. I had one in another building. Every time he saw me, he ran. He loved the bus. He just loved the bus. And he just would not get off. Every time he saw me, he looked, even when he wasn't in the class, he still got on the bus. And that just meant a lot to me.
Well, Scott, I think more than the bus, I think they love you, and so do we. And you know, you're always going to be a part of the RTA family, and we don't want you to be a stranger. Once things change here with COVID, we want to see you back out and down here on the platform, as you often are. We're looking forward to that. So again, thank you and congratulations. Thank you for many decades of support and service to RTA.
And I also want to thank the board. They were, as heard, I know, I took her on a wintry day and she stood right by me and went in. We were snowing and sleeting and everything, and she went right with me and stayed right with me. And even Mary back there went with me on a real hard day, and she stayed right with me too. And I just remember all that the board members supported me, and I saw a board member last night on the news, Peggy Lehner. And Peggy went out with me she broke her ankle, but she went anyway. And Peggy went right with me, and she was very impressed. So I remember the board sticking by me, and I appreciate the board for that.
Okay. Scotty, thank you so much. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Mark. And Scotty, on behalf of the board, thank you for your service. You are not only the face, but you've been the heart and soul of the RTA in these 30 years. You may not remember, but when you first started, it was my first introduction to the RTA when I was doing claims work back around 1990, about the same time. So you are greatly appreciated. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, let's move on with our committee reports. Finance Personnel Committee, Ms. Matthews Stenson. Need you to unmute, Belinda.
You're welcome to stay. Obviously, I got to stay.
Belinda, are you still there? Well,
okay, I do apologize. For some reason, my system froze. Good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.
The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees held a teleconference meeting on December 15th, and as a result of the Finance Personnel Committee, we're recommending 2 action items for the board's consideration. Both items are essential to the delivery of transportation services to the public. Action item number 2, mobile column lifts. The purpose of this procurement is to purchase 4 sets of mobile column vehicle lifts for use by the HVAC maintenance shop for the servicing and inspection of diesel and trolley buses, trucks, and other vehicles. The HVAC shop, which is currently located within the trolley shop, will be moved to the 601 Longworth Street building. With the 41 production next-gen trolley buses in service, the trolley shop requires the 3 spaces currently used by the AC shop for trolley bus maintenance. 1 additional spot was added to the new AC shop location in the 601 building to allow for growth and to be able to work on an additional bus if necessary. This procurement fulfills the core value of safety as we continuously work to maintain our fleets for the passengers' safety and comfort. Mr. Darren Brown provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Darren is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendations of the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve a contract award to Heavy Lift Systems, Inc. for 4 mobile column lifts totaling $154,780 plus a 10% allowance in the amount of $15,478 for any accessories needed for the lifts, for a total contract award amount of $170,258. This procurement will be partially funded with federal grant funds.
This is Adrian. I'll second the motion.
Dave, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Motion has been made by Ms. Matthews Stenson and seconded by Ms. Hurd. Is there any additional questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Mr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mr. Corrado,
Yes.
Ms. Hairston,
Yes.
Ms. Hurd,
Yes.
Ms. Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Matthews Stenson,
Yes.
and Mr. Weckesser.
Yes.
Mr. Weckesser?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We have yes, we have 8 yeses.
Okay, thank you. The motion having been properly made, seconded, and the roll having been called, the action item number 2 is approved.
Thank you. Action item number 3, bus stop enhancement and shelter cleaning, including trash removal. The purpose of this procurement is to enter into a multi-year contract with a qualified firm to provide professional cleaning services of sheltered bus stops in surrounding areas, including trash removal. These services will be provided at approximately 200 designated sites owned by the Greater Dayton RTA and located throughout Montgomery County. This project is consistent with RTA's core values of quality service, safety, and stewardship by maintaining and improving our environment and facilities. RTA attracts more people and promotes our dedication to customers as we invest in their experience at all RTA locations. Mr. Brown presented the action item at our committee meeting, and the associated details are included in today's board package. Darren is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve a 5-year contract to Allen Professional Touch as follows. Year 1 at $65,012, Year 2 at $67,551, Year 3 at $69,583, Year 4 at $71,615, and Year 5 at $74,662 for a total of $348,000. For a total of $348,423 plus a 15% contingency for the base and option years of $52,264 for a grand total of $400,687. The actual cost will vary based upon the number of shelters, caps, or trash receptacles added or deleted, and the frequency of additional services required. Funding for this procurement is included in the operating budget.
This is Sharon Hairston. I second the motion.
Thank you. Motion's been made by Ms. Matthews Stinson and seconded by Ms. Hairston. Is there any additional questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the secretary to call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mr. Corrado,
Yes.
Ms. Hairston,
Yes.
Ms. Hurd,
Yes.
Ms. Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Matthews Stinson,
Yes.
and Mr. Wekesser.
Yes.
We have 8 yeses.
Thank you. The motion having been properly made, seconded, and then presented to the board for review, the motion has been passed unanimously and is approved.
Mr. President, I also have a finance update. At our meeting, Ms. Julie Beard presented November 2020 financial statements. Year-to-date, November 2020 indicates a gain of $15.5 million after the local capital charge. The gain is primarily due to the funding received from the federal government as part of the CARES Act. When factoring in federal and state depreciation, the net gain is $2.6 million. This explanation regarding operating gains has been consistent through much of 2020. RTA will use CARES Act funds to subsidize future operations with the loss of revenue we are facing longer term. Sales tax received for September 2020 was down by $165,000 from last year and up $116,000 from the current budget. Year-to-date September 2020 receipts are up $571,000 from last year and $1.1 million from the current budget. All financial details and information have been included in today's budget board package. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Belinda. Let's move on to the Planning Committee. Ms. Howard.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on December 15th, and as a result, the Planning Committee is recommending one action item for the board's consideration. Action item number 4, wireless phone and data services and data service for vehicles. Mr. Brandon Polachicchio explained the purpose of this procurement is to contract with a firm to provide wireless phone services, machine-to-machine data services, and set up a virtual private network tunnel, including professional support services at the RTA. This procurement is being brought to the board at this time because the current contract with Verizon Wireless ended December 31st, 2020. Wireless phones are required to provide cellular communications when RTA personnel are away from the office and those working in the field. Machine-to-machine data service is required for revenue service vehicles to communicate with the Clever Devices real-time computer-aided dispatch and automatic vehicle location system, and it allows for GPS tracking of all non-revenue service vehicles. The wireless phone and data service supports RTA's core values of safety and quality service by allowing RTA personnel to stay in contact and assist customers when needed. The vehicle data service supports RTA's strategic plan for reliability by allowing RTA to keep its customers informed when buses arrive in real time. Of the firms that submitted for this procurement, AT&T was found to be the most qualified due to coverage in the RTA service area, overall cost, priority planning for first responders, and other areas evaluated. Mr. Polachicchio provided a detailed presentation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. He is available to answer any questions you may have. Hearing none, and based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to award a contract to AT&T Wireless for a not-to-exceed amount of $264,238 for 3 base years, an additional $176,158 for 2 option years, for a 5-year total of $440,396. An additional $59,160 contingency for increases in usage, and $15,000 for phone, tablet device purchases and upgrades, for a grand total not to exceed $514,556. This procurement is part of the operating budget.
I'll second that. This is Tom.
Thank you. We have a motion by Ms. Howard, second by Mr. Weckeser. Is there any additional questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the secretary to call the roll.
Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mr. Corrado,
Yes.
Ms. Hairston,
Yes.
Ms. Hurd,
Yes.
Ms. Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Matthews Stinson,
Yes.
and Mr. Weckeser.
Yes.
Thank you. We have 8 yeses.
Thank you. The motion having been properly made and seconded and presented to the board and passed unanimously, the motion is, or action item number 4 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have additional items for report out. At the committee meeting, Mr. Polachicchio also provided a summary document of recent activities in the Customer and Business Development Department. He shared that last month, RTA introduced new cash conversion outlets that allow customers to transfer their cash into electronic fare for customers who prefer to use tap pay but may not have a debit or credit card to purchase fare through the Transit app. There are 10 outlet locations throughout the area, including the Right Stop Plaza Pass Sales Outlet. He also shared that this past month, customers were able to enjoy an essential trip with Santa aboard RTA's holiday bus, albeit also social distancing. During their ride, customers visited Santa's bus stop, located in the back of the bus, and spaced so Santa and riders could sit far apart but still converse for that all-important Christmas list. Those who visited with Santa also received a special holiday mask. In addition, customers were greeted with holiday music and Christmas decor when entering the bus, giving them a special RTA holiday experience. This concludes my report, Mr. President, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Any questions for Ms. Howard from the board? Thank you. All right, now before I turn this over to our next agenda item, I want to make certain that our Chief Executive Officer is duly welcomed on this very special day. So, here goes. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Now, for our executive report, here's Mr. Donahue.
Oh, well done, well done.
Okay. Well, being in an advanced state of age that I am, I have only one item to report. That's just to let the board know that we continue to advocate both at the state level and here locally for vaccines for RTA essential workers. I will tell you that so far we've received no commitments about the timing or where we stand in the priority process. We know that according to CDC, we should be in phase 1B, which is the phase I believe we are in now. So we're going to continue to fight, and hopefully We'll get some answers soon and we'll get some vaccines soon. But in the interim, if there's anyone out there that happens to be in the healthcare industry that could come across 650 doses, I've got your people right here. That's all I have to report unless there are questions for me.
This is Adrian. I wanted to know, do you have any updates on the 2 emails you sent us today about the 2 incidents with the buses?
I do not at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Unmute, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Anything else from any board member for Mr. Donahue? Hearing none, I'll move on to old business. I don't have anything presented to me prior to the meeting considered old business. Does anybody have any old business? Hearing none, we will move on to new business. And on one item in new business, and that is item number 1, the resolution 2021-1-1 approving the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority Health and Dependent Care Flexible Spending Account, SRP. Does this need any discussion? Mark or Bob?
I would say no, Dave. This is, this plan has been in effect, well, for decades. It had to be updated simply to add the option. Well, there were 2 changes in it that were minor, but the primary one is that in the coming year, people who have a healthcare reimbursement account will be issued a debit card. And because of that, we had to add some legalese to the plan. I will say that it must have been written by an attorney because the legal name of the document is salary reduction plan, which scared people like Bob. But that's a whole different plan, Bob, the salary reduction plan. But that's it. It all has to do with movement to make it more convenient for the employees by allowing them to have a debit card for use for their co-pays, things like that.
Okay, very good. I will move that the board approve resolution 2021-1-1. Do we have a second?
This is Sharon Hairston. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Williamson, second by Ms. Hairston. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Secretary, could you read the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mr. Corrado,
Yes.
Ms. Hairston,
Yes.
Ms. Hurd,
Yes.
Ms. Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Matthews Stinson,
Yes.
and Mr. Weckeser.
Yes.
We have 8 in agreement.
Okay, thank you. Motion having been properly made and seconded and the roll called, and unanimously passed, the resolution is approved. And I'll make arrangements with Kathy to make sure that I get it signed. So, okay. Any public comment? Did anybody sign up in advance?
No, sir.
All right. So there being no public comment, we'll go on to board member comments and check to see if anybody's got any comment to make. I'll start off, Mr. Lumpkin. Do you have any comment to make today?
I'd just like to tell our wonderful CEO happy birthday, and I appreciate you abiding by the code of safety and well-being of all of our employees and passengers by not lighting any candles.
Would have been a budget buster.
Thank you, John. Mr. Corrado?
Well, I'll wish Mark a happy birthday, but I also want to commend Mark and the staff for the way they honored Scott. That was really very well done. Can you hear me?
Yes, thanks.
Yep.
Very well done.
Ms. Hairston?
I too would like to wish publicly Mark a happy birthday. I called and sang to him earlier, and he was very appreciative of that. And you all are appreciative of it too, because I sang to him and not to you all here. And I'd also like to congratulate Scott and the presentation that was done today was done well. And as far as old business was concerned, we did have old business, and you took care of it when you wished Mark a happy birthday.
Oh, okay. That is old business. That's right. Adrian?
No comments other than I did enjoy riding around with Scotty. He is a good ambassador.
Thank you. Belinda?
I just echo everybody's comments. Happy birthday, Mark. Congratulations, Scott. And I'd like to say thank you for the gift bag that you delivered in December. That was greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're here. Sharon Howard?
Again, happy birthday, Mark. And I want to also echo Belinda in thanking RTA for our quarterly COVID goodies. That's very much welcome, especially when you're trying to find sanitizer and you can't always find it. I also want to thank staff. During the last meeting, I had asked if the board could be added to the list to receive press releases, and that ask was quickly put into place, and I am receiving those. So I just appreciate their quickness and detail in getting us on that list.
Thank you. Tom?
Yes, I just wanted to, I guess I'll just echo everyone's comments also. Happy birthday, Mark, and congratulations to Scott on 30 years plus.
Thank you. And for myself, again, ditto on the birthday wishes to Mark, on the congratulations to Scott. My congratulations to Mr. Lumpkin for reminding Coach Day about the effective use of tight ends in a passing game, which we haven't seen at Ohio State since he patrolled the sidelines. So go Bucks on Monday night. All right. That brings us to nothing. We're done unless there's any other business to come before the board. I will announce that this meeting is hereby, well, before I do that, just a reminder of our dates that are on the bottom of your agenda sheet. Our next board meeting is February 2nd. Our next committee meeting, the joint committees on January 19th, and the investment advisory still tentatively scheduled for January 21st. With those reminders for your calendar, I will now declare that this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon and evening. And Mark, enjoy what's left of your birthday.